My video proposal for a sustainability problem on the Big Island of Hawaii is about sewage waste disposal, and the solution that I'm proposing is anaerobic digesters. There, there are many people who live on the Big Island of Hawaii that live off grid and they handle sewage on their own. People who live in unsanitary conditions have been known to frequent the hot springs here, which infect the hot springs with bacteria, and then also it spreads to other people who have reported getting staph infections from using the hot springs. So being able to uh, handle your sewage in a less centralized manner can be very helpful for a lot of people on the island, not just the people who need those that help themselves, but also for everyone, because when people live in unsanitary conditions, it affects everybody. Also, in a centralized, when it comes to organized sewage treatment, sometimes sewage lines get damaged here in Hawaii. The sewage lines are out in the ocean, and there have been instances where sewage lines would get damaged, and a warning would get put out that the waters are temporarily not safe to swim in because of the sewage in the water. So that is a problem. I'm proposing anaerobic digesters. Here we have a diagram of an anaerobic digester. So on the left you have an inlet. You could put any kind of organic matter into it. The inlet goes into an anaerobic chamber. Anaerobic means it is airtight. It's filled with water at first, so you have your organic material and your inoculants, so that is a good bacteria that will break down the organic material. And since it is a closed system, what you put in, the mass that you put in, needs to come out. It comes out from the top layer, which is the stuff that's already been digested. That liquid byproduct is a clean, digested fertilizer, and the other byproduct is methane, which usually smells, but since it's coming from an anaerobic environment, it will not smell. It is usually cleaned further in a process called scrubbing, where it is bubbled up through water and also put through certain metals to take out anything that is not methane. That methane is flammable and can be burned in a generator to produce energy. So this is a natural resource of energy. Cures so many problems: waste disposal, need for fertilizer, and need for energy. Here is another diagram of an anaerobic digester. In this one, the anaerobic chamber has both the gas and the liquid slurry. I know I mentioned, but I just want to mention again that the organic matter liquefies, or I'm not sure if I mentioned that already. It liquefies in that chamber due to the inoculant that you put in. Here are other organic matter things that you can throw into an anaerobic digester system. So this is animal waste. So not just human waste, also animal waste, such as pig waste and cow waste. You can put used grease from restaurants. This is a safe way to dispose of that and make use of it. As far as uses for the fertilizer, that would be very useful here in Hawaii because our environment is nutrient poor, and that has a big effect on our agriculture. We require a lot of fertilizer for our agriculture here in Hawaii. The rain washes away the nutrients in the soil, and the ocean doesn't have very much nutrients to begin with. On the top left picture, you'll see a picture of the clear waters here of Hawaii. Very low nutrients. Top right, you'll see Monterey, where the water is cold. Really encourages plankton. So there's a lot of nutrient density in that water. On the bottom, you see pictures of agriculture fertilizing. Here are some of my sources. High rate of anaerobic digestion of wastewater separated from grease trap waste. I mentioned that in a slide. Methane production and characteristics of the microbial community of the co-digestion of potato pulp waste and dairy manure amended with biochar. Biochar really, if you look at it under a microscope, it has a lot of holes in it, so bacteria could go and in those holes, and here we're talking about good bacteria. That is an inoculant for the system, so that could help with anaerobic digestion. And also this talks about potato pulp waste. That would be an agricultural waste other than manure that this could also help with. Policy gap analysis of decentralized wastewater management on a developed Pacific island. So I mentioned decentralized wastewater management when I mentioned people living off grid and trying to handle their own waste management and the failures of that on this island. Current status of and future potential of biogas production from Canada's organic fraction municipal solid waste. So this is a place where they have already created incentives to have anaerobic digestion in incentives given by the government. So this is one place where they've already done what I'm proposing. And these are the different uses of electricity. Very useful, home appliances, vehicles. And that's my presentation. Thank you.